Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, was the SOE in St. Catherine removed too soon? And in the second watch, concerns about the increasing potency of Jamaica's marijuana. Our social media question we ask, what is your response to the reports of an increase in potency of Jamaica's marijuana? Please share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
And today's I quote, I don't have to attend every argument I'm invited to. So that's, I don't have to attend every argument I'm invited to. And that's today's I quote.
Good morning, Sarah Ann.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Toussaint.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to have you back on Love in the Morning. How was it? How was it leaving home earlier this morning again?
Boy, I tell you, the Dr. Toussaint, it gets I have to get used to it, because I'm not used to it,
I understand, but you sound chirpy. You sound chirpy still, so you're doing all right, all right?
I am. Thank you so much.
All right, the first watch will be back after this break.
Juicy party them double up the choices, and we know say you want to like it. I could start your morning off right with a cup of porridge full of a bare niceness. Two combination which one to try first. When you a go to school like you a go forward with double candy twice the flavor. Or could have the pecan you end up a paper. Try our pecan porridge. That's peanut mixed with hominy, or our double corn porridge. That's hominy mixed with cornmeal. Try it today at Juicy Patty. Available at participating stores.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
What a piece of niceness gone this past weekend in the I Love Summer pool up.
And due to how it nice, we have more
We have more. We have more. Oh, yes. This coming Saturday, July 9, we are going west.
With our very own DJ Rebirth, Harry Gale, KG Forbes, and Sarah Ann Edwards. Join us for another leg of the I Love Summer
Pull up! As we do just that, pull up at the Trumpet Call Ministries in Montego Bay.
The first 30 youths on location at 2:30 p.m. for the pre-show with DJ Rebirth will get a goodie bag.
A goodie bag.
A goodie bag.
Yes, then the excitement continues at 3 p.m. and ends at 5. And it's packed with a whole heap of excitement.
So come for the fun and games, stay for the ministry and encouragement from Chandra Cohen,
Dwayne Hartwell,
Joanna Walker, and others.
Yes, Montego Bay, we are in the place this Saturday, July 9, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Trumpet Call Ministry with the DJ Rebirth Mix the Music Nice pre-show at 2:30 p.m.
The I Love Summer Pull Up
this coming Saturday, July 9,
and it will be live on the family station Love 101.
Love 101's I Love Summer Tour, the Jamaica 60 edition.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Last week, in a Gleaner article entitled, Government Will Not Seek SOE Extension in St. Catherine, the National Security Minister reportedly stated in Parliament, and I quote, government has further reviewed the security situation in the parish of St. Catherine, and on the advice of the heads of the security forces, we are satisfied that the declaration of the state of public emergency has allowed the security forces to bring the area under some level of control. End of quote. Now, was the SOE removed too soon? Are the reasons given for its removal reasonable and acceptable? And what has been and will be the impact? Well, to answer these and other related questions, we have online Mayor Norman Scott, Mayor of Spanish Town, and Mr. Dennis Robotham, President of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you both. I'm understanding the mayor is not on as yet. All right. Mr. Robotham, are you on with us?
Good morning.
Yes. Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Robotham. How are you this morning?
Well, giving thanks. And you?
Yes. I'm well. Thanks so much for joining us. We are hoping to be joined as well by Mayor Scott. I think we're having some challenges connecting with him. But in the meantime, Mr. Robotham, before we even address the main question this morning, let me first ask from your perspective, was the recent SOE in St. Catherine necessary in the first place? And why?
Most definitely. I mean, what was happening was mayhem and chaos. There was shooting in the square, killing, murder, that sort of thing, has escalated to unprecedented levels in the town. The fact is that things have to be brought under control, and the SOE was one of the avenue in which, the minute that is implemented, you get a sort of tense calm, and that continues over a period of time that the SOE is in place, because you have more boots on the ground, more surveillance, that sort of thing, cordon searches, that sort of thing that takes place. So it kind of gives the sense that something is happening. The forces, security forces, is in control. So people get a sense of relief when that happens. So, that's the sort of thing that happens when the SOE is implemented.
Yes. Okay, I'm understanding the mayor is online. Mayor Scott, are you with us? Mayor Scott? Don't know if he's muted. Mayor Scott, are you with us? All right, still not hearing. All right, Mayor Scott?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yes, welcome to the Morning Watch.
Thank you for having me.
Good. And Mr. Robotham is on the other end, okay? All right. We were asking if from the get-go, do you believe that the SOE was absolutely necessary in St. Catherine?
I don't think it is necessary. As a matter of fact, the Constitutional Court has made it clear that SOEs are unconstitutional. I have no intentions of going against the Constitutional Court.
That SOEs are unconstitutional, is that what you said?
That the regulations that go with the SOEs are unconstitutional.
Oh, as they were. Okay. So even to have an SOE in St. Catherine, you are saying that what was happening in Spanish Town and surrounding areas, it did not, it wasn't worth it, wasn't worth the effort, did not rise to that occasion?
I'm saying, and I will repeat, SOEs for the past 4 years have been promulgated in a number of areas in Jamaica. And you can answer the question. The crime rate in the country over the past 4 years has consistently increased every year. The taxpayers of the country, in one case already, will be paying out over $18 million. And it is said that there are many such cases to come. Meaning, taxpayers of Jamaica are going to be asked to pay several millions of dollars to attend when there is no significant decrease in the rate of murders.
Yes, Mr. Scott, really. Well, I don't know how to answer that. I don't know if it's
facts. No. Those are the facts. And I'm asking you as a taxpayer of Jamaica.
Wasn't the idea that Spanish Town and surrounding areas had reached a point where the crime, the murder rate, there was mayhem, and there was need now for an SOE to at least quell that as much as possible? Do you not understand it that way, Mayor Scott?
Between 2012 and 2016, the crime rate, except for 2013, the crime rate has consistently decreased without one SOE in the country. My party has consistently said that there are other tools that can be used to deal effectively with crime in Jamaica. And we are asking, why can't those other tools be used?
Mr. Robotham, any response to what Mayor just said?
No, not Mr. Robotham. No, you are the producers. You called me to speak on your program.
No, yeah, we have another guest on the program, Mr. Scott. So, Mr. Robotham, any response to what Mayor Scott just said?
Well, what Mr. Scott has said is fact. Some of it is fact. There's no question about that. The where I differ with Sir Scott is
Okay,
the fact.
tell you what, Mr. Roberto. Mr. Roberto, I'm so sorry. We're up on a break. Hold that thought. We'll be right back.
Love 101 invites you to listen to Rhapsody of Realities, brought to you by Christ Embassy Jamaica. Rhapsody of Realities comes to you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. inside the Morning Express. That's Rhapsody of Realities, brought to you by Christ Embassy Jamaica. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Making lemonade, making lemonade.
Next, Making Lemonade, Wednesday at 3 p.m.
No, you need to shut up. Listen to me now.
They will not say no God but about you.
I am the lawyer, let me guide you. How was we to know?
Why?
Making lemonade, making lemonade.
Missed out on past episodes? Catch up on YouTube at Fabes Entertainment. That's Fabes Entertainment. And like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Making lemonade.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the first watch, we are asking the question, was the SOE in St. Catherine removed too soon? And in so doing, we have online Mayor Norman Scott, Mayor of Spanish Town, Mr. Dennis Robotham, President of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce. Before the break, Mr. Robotham was responding to some of the observations made, I believe, by Mayor Scott. Yes, Mr. Robotham.
Yes, where I differ, the fact is the SOEs, where the regulations are concerned, must be strictly adhered to, and we cannot go against the Constitution where that is concerned. Once we have that in terms of a regulation, and when there's a flare-up, and the residents, the statistics will show that whenever there's a flare-up in a particular area, hotspots, wherever you want to call it, the SOEs, while I agree it's not a crime-fighting tool, it is a short-term measure to bring things under control. Now, the business sector and residents will tell you that whenever the SOEs are put in place, there's a level of a little more comfort, a comfort zone for them. It is not a long-term strategy, and I agree with that. But the records have shown, the stats have shown, whenever the SOEs are implemented in these hotspots, there is an immediate effect. There's a calm, there's a tense calm, there's a calm, but people can move in where businesses are concerned, and this is the major thing where SOEs, in my estimations, are concerned.
Yeah. So Mayor Scott.
May I come in?
Yeah. Yes, Mayor Scott.
What SOEs have done in this country is to give us false sense of security. And I speak specific to what transpired the other day. And Mr. Robotham is on the program now. Mr. Robotham,
yes,
can you drive on railway lane during any time during the SOEs? Can you go through Chambers Lane during any time of the SOEs? And even now?
No, I don't think you can at this particular point in time.
So what is the purpose of the SOEs then? These Chambers Lane and Railway Lane are two major thoroughfares. As a matter of fact, Railway Lane is one of the roads specified on some of the taxi operators' route. They couldn't drive there. It's blocked by residents. So what's the purpose of the SOE?
And we have questioned that with the SSP, Howard Chambers, and he is on the ground, and he has given us he has not given us in full detail, but he said he has allowed it to happen at this particular time for reasons that he knows more than we do. So I have to once
SSP said
No. He is allowed the situation until the things reach a stage where it can be calm and more able to do so. He is the police on the ground, so Scott. So we have to go by what he is doing and what he is, the action that he has taken. And we have to.
That's why you probably don't want to talk to me.
I don't know where you are concerned, what happens, but I'm just telling you from where we sit. And what you have to understand, Scott, if you want to call it a...
No, it's all right. I will speak about it in other forums.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, you use the word false sense of calm, but there's a calm nonetheless that creates an environment where people can move about and do business. The bottom line is that people want a little sense of security where that is concerned. The SOE provides that.
Let me ask you, Mr. Robert. As you know, there was some glitches in terms of the legislation in Parliament, and they had to go back and do all kind of gymnastics. It is said that the regulations and stipulations were in regards to the Policing Act, not the SOE as in times past. Doesn't that show that there perhaps was not the need for the SOE as we understand it?
Well, as I say, with the legislation aspect of it, and I have not gone in detail with it, but I leave the legal framework to the legal mind. And whatever that is, it has got to work in tandem in the proper perspective for it to work. I am just saying it is not a long-term strategy. It is not a crime-fighting tool that must be used on a regular basis unless necessary in cases like what happened in Spanish Town. Those are the things that I think that the SOE will afford. But we have to begin to look at medium and long-term strategies that will directly impact the crime that is happening, not only in Spanish Town, but throughout Jamaica.
Mayor Scott, I gather that since the SOE, as it was called, was implemented in St. Catherine, of course it has now been removed. The crime rate has reduced drastically. Some would argue it has worked. What say you?
I don't know that, I don't know that, because from my understanding, that whilst the SOE was in effect, murders were still happening. People were being murdered on St. John's Road. People were being murdered near Tribespen, all of those areas. So I don't know. You guys probably getting wrong information or not getting the correct information. I mean, there was a flip of a couple murders within a short space of time, which led to the Prime Minister promulgating the SOE. But I'm saying that even during the SOE, murders were still being committed. The roads were still blocked, but I gather that the SSP, based on what Mr. Robertson said, allowed the road to be blocked. I mean, this is strange. A major thoroughfare has been allowed to be blocked by the police. I mean, when the police called my office to say that the streets in the town were being blocked, and it seemed as if there was going to be civil unrest, and yet another radio program, they tried to cut and paste my interview to say that I had information and didn't give it to the police that things were going to happen. I mean, and nobody's saying anything about these things.
Yes.
I mean, what I ask for in all the spaces I go in is that anytime the country, the world, has always depend on media to give information. Yes, we know that from time to time various media houses are biased for whatever reasons. But all I'm asking for is a balanced discourse as it relates to disseminating your information. And so far, I feel comfortable on the program. And I hope that all that I'm saying will be, when it is reproduced, gives just what I'm saying.
Yes. All right. Let's look at the future now, Mr. Robotham. What are the major challenges and concerns? What are your suggestions, recommendations going forward?
Well, first of all, you have to understand that the gang situation still exists.
Yes.
We seem to wait until things cool down and it's business as usual and we continue our lives coexisting, and so to speak.
Yes.
I believe the time has come when the security forces have got to become more strident into dealing with this situation, because it is an ingrained culture now almost that even the kids who live in these areas understand the runnings of things. It is definitely not going to be healthy going down the road. And, whatever strategies that the authorities have to deal with must become positive and clear sooner rather than later.
What about the extortion racket?
Right off this country.
I'm sorry, Mr. Robert. What about the extortion racket that is allegedly going on? What about the members of your organization? How are they handling that?
Well, it is a chicken and egg situation. The fact is, the fear factor is there. And there's not the fear factor from the business point of view, because extortion is something that you have to come forward with the evidence. Most people who are being extorted are afraid to come forward. The fact is that the confidence level is one of those things that is part of the problem, that the fear of giving the information and it reach back. And it causes, that kind of situation where the businesses are in jeopardy.
Yes.
I believe that the security forces are working assiduously on that fact, based on our meetings with the DCP and other security executives, speaks to the fact that they are making efforts to, bring this to a level where it can be done properly. It can be done in a way that now people can come forward and give evidence and cause conviction. Without this, then we are in a stalemate.
Yeah, we hope for the best. So give you the final word, Mayor Scott. Final word going forward.
Going forward, the police needs to take charge of the area. I think they have the tools. The minister needs to give the police the resources that is necessary to police the areas. Once that is done, then it is a matter of police control the streets. And if according to what Mr. Robotham said, that the SSP turned a blind eye to...
I didn't say that, yes, Scott. I didn't say it turned a blind eye. I said based on his information.
And we don't know anything about that. We don't know anything about that at Love FM, so we can't verify that. All right.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I just know since the SOE have been lifted. We have been reassured by the SSP and the DCP that the resources that was brought into the SOE is still on the ground, and they have given the resources over to the local authorities to reensure that the level of
The local authorities,
We have to
Yeah.
leave it there. We have to leave it there. We have to leave it there, gentlemen.
come on, the local authorities refer to me, you know.
We have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you
okay,
so much
I mean
for
local
joining us.
I don't know.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Have
All
a
right.
productive and peaceful day.
Yeah,
Listeners,
yeah.
Morning Watch will return in just a moment. We'll
Okay.
return in just a moment. Thank you.
A JN Bank personal unsecured loan can help you tackle your goals with monthly payments as low as $19,999 per million. Conditions apply. The time by JN Bank is
It is just about 7:31.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
The Jamaica Agricultural Society, in association with the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, present
the Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show
from July 30 to August 1
at the Denby Showground, Maypen, Clarendon.
Yes,
Gates
sir.
open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily.
Admission $1,200 for adults, $600 for children. Jamaicans, grow smart, eat smart. Come celebrate Jamaica 60 at Denby 2022.
101 invites you to listen to Rhapsody of Realities, brought to you by Christ Embassy Jamaica. Rhapsody of Realities comes to you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. inside the Morning Express. That's Rhapsody of Realities, brought to you by Christ Embassy Jamaica. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing in the Gleaner. You're on camera. E-ticketing looms for traffic offenders. Wow. And also, price hurdle to shot tracker as gunfire haunts city. Not so sure what that entire statement means. And then JAS plagued by Cas as power struggle erupts. In the Observer, putting the brakes on road hogs. Same thing about the e-camera, electronic ticketing system among new road traffic regulations approved by the House. And then 2.7 billion cushion, government pumps more money into social intervention programs. And we see as well in the Observer, songwriters' big payday. Happy for you all. Well, coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. What is your response to the reports of an increasing potency of Jamaica's marijuana? And I want to invite you to feel free to share any thoughts you have or may have on the discussion that we had in the first watch. Some of you may want to give some feedback on that as well. Feel free to do so. Leave a comment, therefore, on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. Soon come back.
Making lemonade.
Next, Making Lemonade. Wednesday at 3 p.m.
No, you need to shut up. Listen to me now.
We know say no God got them out.
I am the lawyer, let me guide you.
How was sweet, you know?
Why?
Making lemonade.
Missed out on past episodes? Catch up on YouTube at Fabes Entertainment. That's FABES Entertainment. And like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Making lemonade.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. We now segue into the second watch. I'm not sure if Sarah Ann has any feedback. Sarah Ann?
Yes, I'm here. Not yet.
Okay, good.
Well,
So
I just got one. Dwayne says, I believe this is irrelevant at time. Look at the potency of murders. That's what.
Potency of murders.
Right.
Yeah, we're just looking at the SOE in St. Catherine a while ago. And now we're looking on the whole matter of marijuana. All right. Okay, thank you. Now, today you smoke, and it is of a certain value. And then you come back in 6 months' time, and it is twice the amount of THC in there. Twice the potency. That is serious. And somebody needs to monitor that. Now, this was the opening quotation in last week's Gleaner article entitled Higher Grade Warning. It's in reference to marijuana, or as Jamaicans call it, ganja or the weed. And so we are asking this morning, what are the concerns and challenges associated with these observations, especially when we bear in mind that the use has been decriminalized? And what are the issues and implications, especially now in today's world, in today's Jamaica? Well, to help us answer these questions, we have joining us Miss Geraldine Garwood, clinical psychologist and behavior analyst, Mr. Paul Burke, program director of the Ganja Growers and Producers Association of Jamaica. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Hi, good morning.
Good to have you both with us on the...
Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right, let me begin with you, Mr. Burke. For those of us who do not know or may have forgotten, what do words such as potency and THC mean, and what do they have to do with the production and consumption of marijuana?
So, good morning again to all the listeners. First of all, I'm not an expert on the cultivation and the cannabinoids of ganja. And we don't use marijuana. We speak of ganja. But I want to agree with all the findings from Caritox. We don't need Caritox to say it to know this. Cultivators have been looking at strains, crossbreeding strains, trying to get to the best potency. That is to increase the level of two of the main cannabinoids, THC and CBD. Because the more you can increase it, is the more extracts you can get, the more oils you can get. And also for people who need THC for medicinal purposes,
It has tremendous medicinal qualities which should be prescribed by a informed doctor, not just any doctor. Measurement and dosage are critical in the industry. So I just want to say I agree with the findings. I also believe that while the brain is being developed, THC can, not necessarily will, depend on the individual, the amount of usage, the toxicity, which is the level people normally look at THC. THC is a psychoactive ingredient in cannabis that, well, when it becomes heated, normally over 200 degrees Fahrenheit, it becomes psychoactive, right? So if you have too much THC in you, it's like if you take too much aspirins, right? Just if you take too much cough medicine, it can affect people in different ways. So certainly the concern is real, particularly for young adults, teens and young adults, if not used properly.
Miss Garwood, what are your major concerns, therefore, in regards to the increase in potency, as reported, of the marijuana?
Well, having read the article myself, I do agree, and I agree with what Mr. Burke just shared earlier. And my major concern is the effect that it will have on a number of persons who overuse psychologically. So their mental health. It will certainly impact mental health for a number of our young people, our teenagers, and how they will function in school. It can definitely change their behaviors as well. So we have to be mindful of that we will see evidence in behavior change among our youth in the school context, and also in the home as parents use behavioral challenges as well. So that is my major concern. The issue as it relates to it impact the brain and the various neurotransmitters in the brain. That is a major concern for me. And what are we going to put in place? And I suppose it's critical for, I believe, that persons understand the impact that this substance can have on the brain due to the increase in the potency level. So the impact on the brain is very critical. As a nation, I am happy that you're doing something like this. Having taught the course substance abuse and human behavior for a number of years, I've always said to my students, I think that persons do not understand the various substances out there and the impact it has on the brain. And especially marijuana, I think we tend to take marijuana lightly. As Mr. Burke shared, that depends on the user, depends on many factors, your weight, or you eat, your height, your size. The impact is dependent on some of those things. But I believe that it is important that we are aware as a nation, on what is happening so far.
Am I hearing you saying, Miss Garwood, that from the get-go you were uncomfortable with the decriminalization of ganja in Jamaica?
I have always been, because you're giving more access to this substance to our teenagers. When you go on the street, especially in a city, you see, Jamaican term, every little young man living at them and midnight, early as 12, 13, 14. And it can, of course, impact their memory. Two neurotransmitters in the brain that this substance really can impair. As others as well is the serotonin. The serotonin level is responsible for mood, sensory perception, appetite. The norepinephrine, which deals with memory, your heart rate, things like that. There are other neurotransmitters. We need to be aware that once those are impaired as a result of the substance, and of course we'll have persons having mood changes, varying different effects that the substance can have on their system. So I've always had a concern about it because now it is more easily accessible to our young people. And I heard a young man shared a couple years ago that he was
Hold on there a while, Miss Garwood. We are up on a break. We want to hear about that young man sharing. We'll be right back.
Tell me where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Money move like a bird, like a plane, it's a blur. Money quick, money fast, money reach in a flash. This your agent no run out of cash. Pay the rent, pay the bills or buy the grocery. Make a call for the cash and pay the school fee.
Money when and where you need it. Alliance MoneyGram Money Transfer. Convenient locations island-wide. A member of the Sagicor Group.
Tell me where you get the money transfer.
Alliance.
Colgate Triple Action. 3 benefits for a deep clean. As a mother, you always want to give the best to your family and to make them happy. With Colgate Triple Action, you give them 3 reasons to smile. Cavity protection, whiter teeth, and fresh breath. A unique formula with a minty flavor they will love. Colgate Triple Action. Find it at your favorite store.
Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in this, the second half of the second watch, we are looking at the report where there's the increasing potency of Jamaica's marijuana, and there are concerns all around. And in so doing, we have online Mr. Paul Burke, Program Director of the Ganja Growers and Producers Association of Jamaica, and Ms. Geraldine Garwood, Clinical Psychologist and Behavior Analyst. Before the break, Ms. Garwood, you're about to tell us about a young man.
Yes, I was sharing that a young man was sharing with his friend, and within my community. And, I overheard him sharing that, he had some weed in his hand. However, this is a young man about 16. So he was sharing that, the police pounced upon him, but because he had what was required, they didn't, really, he didn't get him in any trouble. But the critical thing that he said was that when he actually smoked the weed, that it did to him, he was saying to his friend, boy, me see some bad weed may smoke, what the impact it had on him. And so it just bring back to mind what we're talking about now. That possibly the weed that he smoked was the potency level now, and the impact, but he wouldn't have known that. So he was assured with his friend what it did to him when he smoked the weed, and in his head he just said, boy, I must some bad weed that, I get to smoke. So we need to understand exactly what is happening now. I am really, really concerned. When I read the article, I said, here we go again. A number of young people that we may see collapsing, having heart failure. Because we know that a few minutes for persons who inhale marijuana, and the research show and studies that a few minutes after inhaling the marijuana, the user's heart rate speed up rapidly.
Mr. Paul Burke, Program Director of the Ganja Growers and Producers Association of Jamaica. What's your response to that?
So I've listened to Dr. Garwood. I would say, and long before anybody would believe that people have a right to know what they are consuming. Whether it's salt, sugar, people, particularly with medicines and nutraceuticals, people have a right to know what they are consuming. we speak of ganja, I don't use the word marijuana. But people might have said, Dr. Garwood, that is some wicked herb, right? Because of high THC. And I will agree, just like how alcohol affects people differently and the amount of consumption, so can ganja affect people differently. When the Dangerous Drugs Amendment Act, which that name needs to change, long overdue, was amended in 2015, there's also a public education program. The National Council of Drug Abuse started with a SCARE program. They now have a much more informed and objective program. I know our culture is different in Jamaica, but in Colorado and California, the use of marijuana, as they call it over there, has actually gone down among young people. Right? That mystic thing, that illegality, that banning, and how people ingest it has also changed. Because you can ingest it through tinctures, where you know how many drops to take and you know the potency of the drops. And that is how many people who are using it for medical purposes ingest it or take it. Right? So I think the good far outweighs the bad and ugly. But people need to be informed, even doctors. People need to know more about it, and we need a public education program.
Before Miss Garwood responds, is there any study that proves, Mr. Burke, that smoking it has medical value?
Several studies. Just a smoke has helped to reduce glaucoma with many persons. You take in the cannabinoids, right, through your lungs into your bloodstream, and it is those cannabinoids. And remember, you have ganja strains that are 2-to-1 ratios, maybe 15% THC, 7.5% CBD, or 20 THC and 10% CBD. You have 1-on-1 ratios, that ganja 12%, well, the THC 12%, and the CBD 12%. And you have ratios where the CBD content is much higher than the THC content. So some people know the kind of strain they want. They don't want a heavy strain. They want a strain that will relax them. And many people who, when there are the strains for all these crossbreeds and thousands of strains which are being produced all over the world on a weekly basis, many people knew the kind of ganja they wanted and for what purpose.
Miss Garwood, your response?
Yes. Yeah, no, I was to Mr. Burke, and I am not denying that it doesn't have good uses in terms of for health reasons. And I want to agree that in light of what you shared a while ago, that we would need a massive education campaign. But it can't be said lightly based on what you're saying, because if researchers are presenting that, that it is good for this kind of use, then persons will need to understand the amount that they need to take in. Right? But also, as we have stated, I do believe that persons need to know the dangerous effects of the substance, both the short-term effects and the long-term effects, right? If they don't understand that, then we are going to have a lot of persons with health issues as well as mental health issues also, especially the youngsters. Because when they smoke it the first time and they get the first high, they would think that they will always get that high as any other substance. Once they get the first high and get that pleasure, they will never get that first high with any drug. And with ganja, they can't reach that high. So they will always try to increase it so that they can feel that first sensation. And that is where the danger zone lies for me, as it relates to potency. Because then these youngsters will want to use more and more and more and more. And these feel that I know in terms of working in the inner city, being in the inner city, the impact it has on a number of youngsters in terms of their behavior, school dropout, not being able to concentrate at school, engaging in defiant oppositional behaviors towards authority. And some of them don't even realize it, and afterwards, if you see them and talk to them again, they are wondering. It's as if you're actually talking to them about them if they actually did do some other things. So the impact in terms of the negative impact needs to also be out there, as well as what it can do for us on the positive level. Right? So it would be a mass campaign, and you have actually piqued my interest now, Mr. Burke. So I will have to do more readings, and engage in possible research on the issue. Because, as I said, it's kind of niche for me. I kind of like it. I've looked at this course for a number of years and look at other substances as well, and also marijuana. And so you have piqued my interest because of what you have shared earlier. So I say we need a mass campaign, but I also would rather that we spend time with these youngsters to let them understand the danger zone of using the drug due to this increasing potency.
Is your experience, is your experience, Miss Garwood, more on the negative side in terms of the users of ganja?
Yeah, I think my experience is more on the negative side because I tend to engage students, learners, children with more behavioral disorders. And a number of them, have, concurred that they are users of ganja, right? And based on what Mr. Birch shared, they don't know, someone just give them some weed and then smoke, especially the experimenters. So you have different type of drug users, and those who are experimenters, they must experiment so they don't understand, and then it really impact them negatively, especially in the school context. I really want them to understand the impact. But because decriminalization and all of that, everybody thinks, most of them, I wouldn't say anybody, a number of them think it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing to have a stick in your hand. It's a cool thing to be just on the sidewalk, chatting with your friends and Jamaicans and digging out the animals. It's a cool feeling, and it makes you feel belong, and it's cool. But what is that doing to your brain? What is that doing to your system? I think they need to acknowledge that, as well as indicated by Mr. Burke. I believe that as a nation, we need to also acknowledge positive use of the
Back to education mass campaign. All right, Mr. Burke, we're winding down.
Jump
You
in
want to say something?
to establish some context. Undoubtedly, Dr. Garwood has seen persons who have had adverse effects because of ganja, not necessarily created by ganja, but could be aggravated by ganja. Undoubtedly, there are those who use ganja, which has helped to calm them, reassure them, bring out their creativity. There are those who use ganja and have no behavioral issues and excel well in their work, in their exams, right? And there are many who don't use ganja who have behavioral issues, drop out of school, have issues with authority, and do not smoke ganja at all. So we have to establish some context. Yes, ganja can and has affected some individuals negatively, but many people also smoke ganja, and there have been and there have been tests done across jurisdictions on this, right? And then people who don't smoke ganja exhibit the very same problems that Dr. Garwood sees with people smoking ganja. I'm not here rationalizing that what she says does not have merit. It does have merit. So what we need to do is people have a right to know measurement, what they are getting, and they should be informed of dosage based on things, right?
All right, I think
we both agree on.
Yes, right. I was going to say that. What's that, Miss Garwood?
I'm saying the public education is important.
Right. I think that's the main.
It's a mass campaign. It's a mass education campaign.
And not to scare them either, Dr. Garwood.
Right. Not to scare them. No, we're not going to scare them. Informed, right. I'm agreeing with you that it needs to be informed, and we're not hearing it, because I do agree that people need to know what they are taking. You started out by saying, and I do agree that if you go to the doctor, you get a prescription, you get a drug, the doctor will give you prophecy about the usage of the drug. So
good note on which to end. I want to thank you both for joining us. Informative, interesting discussion. Have a productive day.
And thanks for allowing us to share. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. For information or get copies of this program, please call our production department at 876-968-95967. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer and our guests. I'm Dylan Toussaint. Hand you back to Love in the Morning with Sarah Ann Edwards.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dylan Toussaint.